your dog how to settle on a mat. First, begin with your body and hands in a calm and neutral position, with the mat out of sight. Ask your dog for attention and click and treat for this. Put the mat down on the floor and click and treat when the dog looks at it, moves toward it, touches it, or goes onto it. In other words, click for any interaction with the mat. Treat placement is important because you want to create as many opportunities for the animal to repeat the wanted behavior as possible. If your dog only looks at the mat, or goes to it but not onto it, you may find it helpful to toss the treats onto the mat after you click. Or if your dog goes to the mat and wants to hang out there, you may need to toss treats off the mat so he can repeat the behavior. Spend enough time for clicking and rewarding for any interaction with the mat so that the dog learns the rewards are all about his interaction with the mat. The dog should start to gravitate toward the mat. Once the dog is going to the mat so reliably that you can predict it, you can add a verbal cue. Use a short and simple cue, like settle. To add the verbal cue, say the cue right as the dog turns to go to the mat. Then click and treat as he touches the mat. Work on getting this behavior in lots of different environments and situations. The settle cue can be a very useful thing, like getting them to calm down when guests arrive. Once you can reliably prompt the behavior, you can teach the dog to go to his mat and lie down. To do this cue, settle, then down, several times in a row. When the dog is going to the mat and lying down each time you ask, try saying settle and see if the dog goes to the mat and lies down without the down cue. If so, you have combined cues. The dog now responds to settle by going to the mat and lying down. Helpful hint, as your dog learns this behavior, try using it when you want the dog to settle around the house. For example, when you want to eat dinner, cue the dog to settle and reward him with a snack to keep him busy.
A very nice thing to teach your dog is to settle on a mat or in their crate. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Moxie already knows this, but I'm going to demonstrate, as you can see, how you would initially teach this. So if you have a mat is the easiest to work with, or a little rug, right? Anything you put down, right, your dog's probably going to look at. And so I'm going to capture that with the clicker, and I'm going to click and then reward her for just interacting with the mat. I don't care if she walks toward it, if she looks at it, whatever. So I'm going to put it down, she looks at it, I click and treat. I'm going to toss the treat on the mat just so that she goes back to it. And then I'll let her get distracted. If she doesn't want to leave the mat, I may walk over here. I may even get her to hand target. And then I'll just wait. She goes to the mat, click treat. Now I'll start tossing the treats away so that she has to go back to the mat in order to get clicked and then treated. I get more repetitions that way. Once your dog is going to the mat in order to earn the click and the treat, then you can ask for a little bit more. Because what I would like is for Moxie to not only go to her mat, but to also lay down on it. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to try and put it on cue so that she knows when I want her to go to the mat. And I'm also going to see if I can tie in her lying down on the mat. Go to your mat. So I say the cue as she's doing the behavior. Go to your mat. Now she may not understand what that means yet, but if I say it every time as she's headed there, go to your mat, click and reward, she's going to do it more often. When I think I've got it, to test her, what I will do is ask for something else. And then I'll say, go to your mat. And that way I know she knows what I'm talking about. The second step is I would like for go to your mat to mean not only go to your mat, but lie down on it. So I'm going to stack that in so it looks like this. Go to your mat, down, toss it off the mat, go to your mat, down, go to your mat. That time I didn't have to say down. Now, go to your mat means go to your mat and lie down, and I just wait for it. Moxie. Anytime I want to test if she really knows what I'm doing, I'll ask her to do something she knows, and then I'll cue her to go back to that. Go to your mat. just like that. Good job.
Here's your homework for Settle on a Mat. Level 1. Carry your mat to different rooms and reinforce brief settles. See if the dog can remain settled and earn click and treats while you step away, move in different ways, cook dinner, or talk on the phone. Level 2. Move the mat around to different locations like your kitchen, your bathroom, or outdoors, and take it with you when you visit other people. Keep in mind that you may need to review steps from earlier levels when practicing in a new location. Level 3. Begin to increase the intensity of distractions, keeping them within the dog's ability to ignore them. Alternate vigorous play, like tugging with toys or playing with balls, with brief periods of settle to improve self-control. Level 4. Practice teaching your dog to settle beside a folded leash or to other places for a longer duration.